everybody, what's going on? Happy mid-January. Hope everyone's doing well and hanging out and modeling and hopefully succeeding at whatever projects, tasks, work, careerness they're working on. Today we're here with a very awesome review of the 1/1000 scale Daedalus class from UG Models. And this kit I bought specifically for something starting tonight or whatever. Whenever you watch this, it's Friday the 20th or Saturday the 21st. It's a 48-hour build over at the Sci-Fi Model Action Google Plus page. I think that's where it is. I just remember hearing about it watching the live chat, and I still haven't been able to find it. But I'm going to find it, and we're going to participate in this awesome thing. But I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do a review of this guy. Daedalus Class, a little history on that. It originally was inspired by original Matt Jeffries drawings of the Enterprise, and when Next Gen came around and the chronology book and encyclopedia, they wanted a interim, early Federation starship. So Greg Jean built this guy up, or a model of it, so they could take pictures and stuff. And then it just kind of became a thing. They built another one that ended up in Cisco's office and the desk and things like that. And it just kind of became a thing. It's like canonically not canon, because all you ever see of it is just that desk model, and maybe on a computer display, I think. I'm not sure. It might just be the desk model. And, they've said Daedalus Class and all this, but no one's ever, on screen said that this is a Daedalus Class starship. But it's pretty much accepted nowadays. We kind of assume, the Archon was Daedalus Class. All that stuff you hear about post-Enterprise, pre-TOS, could have some Daedalus Class starships. So it's just kind of a weird, iconic, it's kind of like the NX refit, where it's not blatant on screen, this is what it is, this is canon, but it's kind of been accepted by all the fans. Although this is a little more canonical than the NX refit, since this at least showed up on the show as a model. So it's kind of an interesting history. And I think Mike Okuda has one of them, and then nobody knows what, I guess there was the desk model, and there was another one made for the Star Trek Experience. They don't know what happened to that, according to Memory Alpha. I just doing a little research on it. So very cool ship. I guess the first one had nacelle spikes, and then the second one didn't. This one does not have nacelle spikes, and I think you'll see why, just because of how tiny they would be and probably how minutely fragile they would be, but it works on this. So let's pop it open and check it out. I have had a look through this guy, but everything's nicely wrapped in bubble wrap, so you got that. We'll start off with the destructions. We have a very nice graphic paint guide, kind of a decal guide. You have two versions you can go with in terms of paint schemes. You get 4 names. We've got your traditional Daedalus style paint job, or decal job with the interesting red stripes and the little gold deflector dish area, whatever. And then this one's kind of cool. You call it the Romulan War era markings, and it has a United Nations symbol on it. I'm probably going to go closer to this, although I'm having a friend do some custom decal variations of this, basically blue, which I think will look cool. Sort of, in Enterprise they had, of course, the shuttle pods, but then there was also like that Starfleet Command shuttle pod that had the blue stripes, so that's kind of what I'm going for with this. So on the back we have a build-up instruction guide. You get a nice orthograph view. There's a parts count list, and then very simple instructions. This kit is not hard to put together at all. Might get a little, if you got, have problems with the small stuff, the open shuttle bay could get a little tricky, but it does have the option of a closed shuttle bay, so that makes it easy. So very easy instructions. What do we got first? We'll save this for later. That's all the teeny tiny things. Let's take a look at the decal sheet first. So they always come in this very nice wax paper, so nothing's going to get scratched or damaged or anything. So they always take very extra care to make sure everything arrives safely and awesomely. But let's check it out. You've got your UN symbols, United Earth or United Nations. And then you have all the red stuff. You will have to paint on, if you do the blue scheme and want to follow this, you will have to paint on this blue stripe and that blue stripe. One thing that I do see possibly being difficult is, since this ship is, those are all actual physical ribs on the ship, I could see the decals being maybe a little difficult with that. I mean, since they're not, I don't know, it's not really crazy. It's just going over those, the one axis humps instead of all sorts of layers. I think they'll be okay, but I could definitely see that being tricky, especially if you wanted to mask this. It doesn't look too bad. It's kind of right near a rib, so getting tape in there might be difficult, but according to this paint scheme anyway. But like I said, there's that. So you get UN, you got your decals, you got 4 names here: Daedalus, Essex, Horizon, and Archon. I'm probably going to do Archon because that sounds cool. And all the Horizon and the Essex are the real models they made up. So I guess it's established that those ones had the red stripes. So I don't think I've seen a canon Archon. I think it's in the book, in the Star Trek Encyclopedia, but they just use the Essex, the same picture for the Essex. So I'm going to go with the blue to satisfy in my mind that it's different, so it can have different decals, because we've already seen these ones in red. I don't know why I'm brainly nitpickily something about it, but whatever. We'll find out. If it doesn't work and I script the decals, we'll go with another one. But yeah, very nice, very crisp, printed on an Alps printer, so everything's like, wow, awesome, crisp, super detailed, vibrant colors, everything. You've got some white ones there for if you want to do that paint scheme and all that. Good fonts, everything like that. So there's that guy. Let's just set you over here. And we'll start off, we got, one thing that I love they do, instead of having, your generic stand, it's a Delta shield, it's the communicator, they always come up with an awesome, badass, like, mission patch base. I mean, look at that. And it's specifically for this ship. You got your Daedalus on there, Starfleet Museum, Earth San Francisco, Sol System, and all that. Now, I don't know if I'll paint this up for the 48-hour build, because I'd really want this to look spectacular. There's a lot of detail in there, so I might just paint up the ship and maybe paint this black and dry brush it gold or something, maybe, or silver. Give it a brushed look, but for the build, and then maybe repaint it nicer. Or we'll see if I have time at the end to really get it nice and mission patchy. We've got a little decal instruction sheet and wash your model kind of instructions and how to glue it and stuff like that. So, and you can buy replacement decals if you screw them up. So let's check out some of the parts here. Very, very simple kit. I'll just plop it all on there. You can see it's not very big. I should have brought an NX class or a Constitution just to size compare. But like I said, it is 1/1000 scale, so it's in scale with the polar lights, 1000. Well, heck, the TOS Constitution, NX, and the Excelsior, so that's kind of neat. And Reliant. But you've got your sphere, no saucer on this guy. And it comes in 2 halves. And you can, it has a little lock and key system, so you can just whoop, and it's stuck in there, and you can't screw that up, so that makes it really easy for building. Is this even in focus? What is happening? That's my camera thingy. There we go. Oh, there we go. And very nice detail. The windows, just some filling to do along that seam. And I haven't cleaned any of this up, so there's a little bit of flash, which you would expect from a resin kit, but nothing like blah, tragic or anything. So once I do a little bit of work, clean up on the inside here, I think it'll fit together a little bit better. This is putty that seam. You got your bridge area. There's the connecting area with also with a key and peg kind of system, which makes it really easy. Look at those little torpedo launchers or whatever that is. Like really detailed all in there. They're not filled with, you know, molds, gunk, or, you know, resin that overspilled or anything like that. It's pretty nice. Very nicely detailed. I can't wait to get the Oberth class. That's going to be next that I buy from them. There goes that guy. Let's take out the secondary hull pieces. And you've got, again, the key and hole system. Very nice details with the windows and panels. And you can see the ribs on there. And you've got this big open butt here on the end, which we'll explain. There's a little nav light. It's very, very cool. I guess one of my questions I have is where will be the best like center of gravity on this ship? I assume it's somewhere in here to like drill for a base hole. So, because it's going to be pretty front heavy with that sphere. So very, very good. Here's the neck section, also with the ribs, very detailed windows. And again with the key and hole system. And we've got our good old warp engines. What, warp 7, I guess, is the max for a Daedalus. The NX-01 was warp 5. Really get down there. Nice ribbing detail. A little bit of pore spout on the front of the nacelles, but I don't think that'll be too hard to get rid of. And like at this scale, I mean, to put the nacelle spikes on there, I think those would be really hard to cast, and they'd probably break off anyway. Knowing me, I'd break them off. So I'm kind of glad they didn't include it, because it's one less thing to get irritated about when I, it's done. I mean, like really at that scale, they'll be microscopic. On the back, this is really cool. Let's check out this detail. That they got those vents in there. I think they need a teensy bit of cleanup, but that's not going to be too bad. Most of the flash and overspill stuff like that has been, for them, super easy to get out. So I think it's just kind of flaky. So very, very cool. Very nice detail. So in addition to, here's the first back with the closed doors. I really like that kind of section doors. I love the back on this, and I love I assume it was a nod to 2001 with the shuttle bay doors like this on the Space Station 5. You can just see it right now. Da 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 da, and so forth. But this is really easy too. You've got those peg holes in there, and it just whoop, fits right on there. In fact, probably what you can do is if you want to have your cake and eat it too, you might be able to just, pressure fit that in, and then when you want the shuttle bay open, pull this guy out and put the open one in, which we will check out right now. But one last thing, I mean, just look at the detail on that. Look at those holes. Those holes are perfect. None of them are overfilled or anything. It's great. I assume, is that the impulse engines on the Daedalus? Because there's not really, there's nothing on the saucer. So are those little holes the impulse engines, or does everything go through the old warp engines there? And let's check out this guy. All right, these are all the components for the open shuttle bay. Holy crap. I don't know, I might have to just take pictures of this one. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So here we have our open shuttle bays, a little bit of flash there. Needs to be cleaned up. So we have our open shuttle bay top and bottom. You can see how thin the resin is, but it is really nice. There's there's a lot of detail in here. You can see like little running light areas. I mean, if you really wanted to drill it out, you could with a lot of work, probably light this, but this shuttle bay would surely be easy to light. Let's see how we're going to do this. There is detail on the roof. So a little detail on the back wall and the sides. The only thing, they don't include decals for the shuttle bay, so you'd have to paint that up, but that's not too bad. I mean, it's going to be hard to see anyway. Okay, this thing right here, do you see this? Are you seeing this? Let's see if I can pick it up without breaking the wings. This is a tiny, freaking microscopic shuttle pod at 1/1000. Look at that. Can you see that? It has the cockpit detail, the docking bay detail, the impulse engine detail. Please don't break it, please don't break it. The little landing feet, whatever detail, the detail on the bottom. If we can see that. I can kind of see it in the camera, I hope it's working. The wings, the microscopic wings that I'm deathly afraid to break off. Although, if I did, that would be okay because it'd be landed in the shuttle bay anyway, and the shuttle pods retract their wings when they're landed, so but I'd rather not. So let's hope not. The only and I don't think we're going to be able to see it, but there are the windows to the doors are actually cast in there. The little tiny square windows that are on the side doors are actually indented in there. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This thing's I can't even The only minor downside to it is there is a little resin plug on the front, which isn't too bad. I mean, they got to cast it up somehow. But I think the best solution to that is, I mean, it's going to be landed anyway, so you're not going to see the bottom. So if you take like a very thin pin vise drill bit and just get it up in there so you can have a good grip on it and hold it on there, and then just very carefully cut and file away on that little thing and just reshape the front, I think it'll be all right. But I mean, like I said, you could probably even get away with not leaving it on there, or leaving it on there, but I'm not going to do that. I've got to take that off. So anyway, here it is right there on this little shuttle bay, if you can see that. So, whoop, and there it is. It's a hell of a thing. So, yeah, that's pretty much the Daedalus class. Very, very little simple kit. It retails, I think, for $30 plus shipping on the Models website. And lots of cool stuff to look forward to from them. They do, like, all their masters are like 3D done, so the details all there and everything, and they do a fantastic job. It's a couple guys working there. And they do pretty good work. We got another ship coming up, not Star Trek related, Babylon 5, the Blue Star, the ship that had probably like 5 seconds of screen time at the very last episode. But they made it, and it's awesome, and we're going to do that guy next. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll pick up a Daedalus class yourself. Like I said, there's so many options, different ships, different paint schemes, lots of fun. It'll go great with your TOS fleet or Enterprise fleet. Heck, you could probably even, do a silver Enterprise style paint scheme on it. That might look kind of cool. So for me, I'm probably going to go, especially for the 48-hour build coming up. When I see the studio model pictures, it doesn't look white. It looks kind of a very light gray, almost even a blue gray. But at this scale, what I'm probably going to do is it's Tamiya Insignia white. It's kind of a very slightly off-white. That's not quite white, but it's a little gray. I use it a lot on my Star Wars, like X-Wings, Y-Wings, stuff like that. So we'll give that a shot, and I think that'll look pretty good. So we'll see. Although it's supposed to be like 40 degrees here, so we'll see how much I can actually get done of this. And I'm deathly afraid to use a heat gun on these struts because I don't want them to droop. But on the UG Models Facebook page, they have a little tutorial about how to shore these up if you just kind of cut a little channel here with like a hobby knife, a very straight channel, and then you take a very thin piece of like wire or brass rod or something and then insert that and then kind of fill it in. That'll give it the strength and solidity. So I might do that if time permits, but we'll see. So anyway, I hope you like this, and I'm not sure what else to say. Go check them out. Link in the description of where to order and their Facebook page and our Facebook page, Starchwreck Models and Props. You can come check out what else is going on. So anyway, take care and have fun modeling stuff, and yeah.